Graham, thank you very much for joining us. So, how are our viewers
going to save?
Well, he's got his jumper on straight away, that's saving him some money.
Definitely trying to keep warm.
How are our viewers going to save money? What top tips have you got for them?
Well, what we've got is some basic things which don't cost anything, don't change the temperature in your house. So you can, the most obvious one, though I hadn't heard of it before I became Minister for Energy, shameful, is that the boiler temperature is, the heat to which the boiler heats the water before it comes through your system is often set at maximum, around 80 degrees. And if you turn it to 60, your house will stay just as warm, but you'll save about £100 a year. So that's actually in the boiler itself to turn that, they call it the flow temperature down to around 60
Now,
degrees.
you're quite right, lots of people didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
It's overly heated. So my question, have the government on their on-sort-of-line website, have they put sort of pictures so you know what you're doing, or do they just say link to something so you find out how to do it? Lots of people don't know how it's done.
That's a very good question. So I looked at the website myself this morning, looked through the things. I didn't see quite how practical it got, but I think as soon as people are onto it, they should be able to find out. But I guess it will also depend on the particular model. Yeah. But it's a relatively, as I understand it, it's a relatively straightforward...
An easy thing to upload onto your Twitter feed, that. Just show people how it's done, because lots of people don't know.
Exactly. And I mean, the campaign's called It All Adds Up, because it does all add up. So that would save a typical family about £100. Just put some draft proofing in, you can save £60 or £70. And what I do have to say is look up to my dad and say sorry, because he used to drive me and my sister mad. We'd go around, turn the television on, and my dad had not only switched it off at the plug, he pulled the thing out. And one of the things you can do is to switch off at the plug. So a lot of the, perhaps not the television, don't know, up to you, but lots of apparatus around the house that you can switch off at the plug. And that can save another £60 or £70 a year. So if you think of between those, just those two or three things, you're saving more than £200 a year. And if, with GBNews' power, if you think about it, say 1 million people, as we push this campaign out to make those changes, then you're talking 200 million pounds a year being saved, not only saving families at a time when they need to save the money, but actually saving the government money, because about a third of household energy bills this winter are being paid for by the government, and helping energy security as well, because if we're using less, we're importing less.
So my question to you, which ones will you be doing and which ones are going to be important in your household this Christmas time?
Well, I've got an air source heat pump. So if you look, if you look on gov.uk, you can find household help there, something we've had for some time. Then this It All Adds Up campaign. You can find out about air source heat pumps, for instance, which I've got at my house.
So there's not a draft excluder going on your door, then, your front door? You're not getting one of those long Dalmatians that fit on the door, or a snake?
One of those long snakes.
Yeah, well, my boss, Grant Shapps, does have one of those. and if you look on Twitter, you can find his elf on the shelf that seems to go around moving it all the time. So it's important to do that sort of thing and save money. And so it's just making sure that perhaps rooms, that if you've got a room you hardly ever use, then just turn the radiator down a little bit in that room, not in the main living areas, but all these things add up. And if we can save hundreds of millions of pounds, not only this year, one of the positive things about this, we've got to find positives out of all this, is that long term, if we make that a habit, then actually the country will be saving money, families will be saving money at a time when they need it most. And of course, these interventions come on top of the as I say, the subsidy of people's energy bills. So this isn't because you were frightened there could have been a blackout or we weren't going to have enough energy for the country? Is this why this has come forward? No, it's just to save families money. We have one of the most resilient and diverse energy bases in Europe. And the reason that we have less storage, for instance, gas storage, than European countries is they don't have enough supply coming in to get them through a winter. So they actually rely on storage as part of their basic supply. We don't. We have enough coming in from our own North Sea, from Norway, from liquid natural gas. We've got the second largest capacity for that. So we're in a strong position, but obviously, you're always watching out. We're also interconnected with our neighbours. So I met with the Belgian Energy Minister on Sunday. We have both electricity and gas connections with them. That makes them more resilient, makes us more resilient, and helps keep bills down.
One of the concerns that people have